Welcome to Life Is, a proud part of the Bethel University Clarion Podcast Network. I'm co-host Zach Walker.
And I'm co-host Abby Pouts. Today, Life is Cringe. We'll talk about asking someone to a middle school dance, looking 55 when you're 18, and being allergic to braces glue.
We'll discuss eating grubs, TikToking time away during quarantine, and participation awards.
And even though we're supposed to be talking about cringe, we'll probably uncomfortably babble about other things and maybe talk to some folks over at the award-winning Clarion newsroom.
Because life is cringe, but life is everything else too. Life is drop now.
No. Start.
Okay, for Life is Cringe, we've got an exciting first segment for you. We're going to share some cringe photos from both of our childhoods and cringiest moments. But Abby, I have a question for you. Little would you rather cringe version.
Oh, I love these.
What would make you cringe more? If I were to, on camera right now, eat a plate of grubs, like the big, like juicy grubs, and I was just eating them, so it'd be like really horribly gross. Or if I did an impression of your dad for like 10 minutes, which one of those would make you cringe more?
The eating grubs.
The grubs one.
Yeah, I can't stand that. Like, I would gag for sure. Like, drives me nuts watching people like eat with their mouth open, even like normal food. So couldn't do that. And I don't mind awkward conversation or like awkward things. I think I would laugh the whole time. So
of course, because I'm a classically trained comedian, and that's my best bit is Abby's dad for an uncomfortable amount of time. So the gross, you cringe more at gross things than awkward things.
Yeah. Can you watch like shows where people eat bugs or like do crazy challenges where they eat all these things? I can't.
I was a big Fear Factor fan as a kid.
Oh, okay. I could see you being fine with.
You know, I've never been like super cringe with like gross stuff. Like on Survivor, they always have challenges where they like eat like brains and grubs and stuff, and that's always great. Mark Ives, friend of the podcast, he believes wholeheartedly that grubs look delicious and would taste delicious. So I fully plan on doing it. Finding grubs, ordering them on Amazon. I don't know. You could probably do that, and bringing them to his house and say, "Mark, eat these grubs," because he always boasts that he would love to eat the grubs. Yeah. Wow. So I've never really cringed at that. I have I don't like injury stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, there are those people who like watch YouTube videos of people breaking their bones. That's insane. Like, why are you watching that? I guess I kind of get it. Like, oh, this is something crazy that's so wild.
Yeah.
But like that, and that's a weird human emotion, I feel, because it's like you're obviously not feeling it. You're completely safe, but it makes you so uncomfortable. Like, have you ever seen the movie 127 Hours?
No, but I've heard all about it.
Yeah. It's about a guy who gets, true story, about a canyoneer named Aaron Ralston who gets caught in a canyon and he has to cut his arm off with a pocket knife. And there is a visceral scene in the movie.
Oh, there is.
Of him cutting his arm off. And it is the hardest single scene that I've ever had to watch. I've watched it like through my hands like this.
I know. I don't think I could do that. Do you know who David Spade is? He's like a magician of sorts. Okay, so.
Oh, no, that's not David Spade.
Oh, it's not?
That's the wrong David. David Spade is the Joe Dirt actor. And like,
what am I thinking of then?
I think you're thinking of David. David Spade is Joe Dirt. David, what the heck? The guy David Blaine. Yes.
Okay, he's like a magician, right?
He is a magician.
Okay. So
and David Spade is a magician on the silver screen. I just want to say that.
So David Blaine has been on David Dobrik's vlogs, and David Dobrik's like this YouTube star, whatever.
Okay, you're a
And
big David fan.
yeah, for sure. And
We've named 3.
he had like a frog come, like he pushed this like frog out of his mouth, like from his body. I almost threw up watching that. I can't even tell you. You need to look it up. It's so crazy. So those kinds of things, like I don't even know if it's cringe or if it's like me just being squeamish, and I cannot stand it.
David Blaine frog regurgitation. I mean, it seems pretty hype. I would get
It is.
excited if
Yeah.
that was something that was happening. Jeez.
It's
Okay.
scary.
So in the last few minutes of this segment, let's share one cringe photo that you have. You said you have like a folder of them.
I do
But
have a folder.
share the cringiest one, and it's not gonna beat mine.
I don't know. Okay, I'll share. Yeah, I'll share this one. Okay.
Okay, so present
Sharing
your
my
screen
entire screen.
for all of you YouTube viewers, and this is an incentive for everyone who's listening to go follow our YouTube channel, the Bethel Clarion YouTube channel. Bethel Clarion.
Okay.
Oh, there you are. All right, so you have to describe So she's zooming in. You have to describe for all the people that are not seeing this.
Yes.
What is this? What is this photo? Really
this
show
is
them.
Me in right after 7th grade, maybe going into 8th grade. The summer of 2012, really nice because the date's on it. I have my 2 dogs. One needs a haircut, and the other one looks so frightened that whoever is taking a picture. I am wearing a highlighter yellow highlighter, like beyond highlighter yellow shirt, softball shirt that has some type of glitter on it. The ball is glitter. This
I
Memorial, I don't know what it is. And a Under Armour thin headband with these big earrings, and I have acne. And look at how small my teeth are. So
they are
funny story.
Are pretty incredibly small. Are they like all baby teeth, or
so
do you just have small teeth?
Yes, I'm gonna stop presenting so I can share with everyone my story. So braces are a tough thing for everyone. They're cringy for everyone, right?
Yeah,
so
of course.
I got my braces put on, and I've always had smaller-ish teeth, but I was allergic to the braces glue. So my gums got really swollen, and during the entirety of my braces experience, it was straight metal mouth. Like you couldn't see my teeth. It was like pink gums that obviously looked like they were like hurting or something. And braces, metal braces.
Oh, so they didn't take the braces off and like use something else?
No, I don't
You
think
just had
they
to
could.
bear through it?
It wasn't painful. They just were swollen. They got swollen, and then when I got them off, because my teeth were so small and my gums had gotten so big, my teeth didn't fit together like in the photo. That was me after braces, like post braces. So like nothing improved, right? So I had to get my gums lasered off, like to be able to have a tooth, and then I had to get like composites put in on my teeth. Isn't that crazy?
What do you mean?
So
your gums lasered off?
Yeah,
they could cut off your gums.
They did
with lasers.
They did some type of laser thing, and it was the worst dentist experience I've had. I don't mind the dentist. I know some people like hate the dentist, but it wasn't that bad. And now my teeth are the way they are, so it's better. But like that was me after braces, like expecting to have like this great smile, and I just have baby teeth.
Oh, I mean, now you're eliciting cringe as like a medical thing, like I was talking about.
Yeah,
like getting my So I'm trying to wrap my head around lasers do so many weird things these days.
They do.
It's
I
a
don't
very
know.
marvel of modern technology. How did they cut? What do you mean they cut your gums off with lasers?
They like lasered them, not like all my gums, like just the
Oh,
swollen
yeah.
parts that had like made my teeth look really small and had like gone in between the spacing of my teeth so that they could put composite on so my teeth look like they're touching, but I have super small teeth. So now
Okay.
my front four teeth are like fake-ish, but
Yeah.
they just have composite over, and then later in life I'll have to get veneers. So that'll
What
be a whole nother thing.
what are veneers? Are you getting dentures? Is that what you're getting? You're getting dentures next year. Everybody,
Yeah.
please share that Abby's getting dentures next year.
I don't know exactly like what you would call them, but they like grind your tooth down and then they put in like a cosmetic tooth that looks super real and it doesn't stain or anything like that. And you just have it. So it's like considered a cosmetic procedure, but I need it. Like my teeth like just don't work together unless I want to look like one of the guys from Tiger King. I
Which you
cannot.
do.
Thank you. So that's my cringiest story I think I ever have.
That is cringe on so many levels. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
I'm gonna save mine for a segment
Later.
down the
Yeah.
road because it's so good and we've
It'll
already
keep
gone like
people
10
listening.
minutes. It
Yeah.
will keep people listening, exactly. So if you
Yeah.
stop listening, you won't see my phone.
You'll be
and
disappointed.
that's sad. Alrighty. Next up, we have Clarion freelance reporter and videographer Laura Osterland. Laura, thanks for joining the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. So tell us quick, how have you been killing time during quarantine? I know you're doing class and you're doing Clarion and a bunch of professional stuff, but how are you killing time? What are you doing to waste time?
You know, I've got to say, there's a lot of TikTok.
A lot of TikTok.
Yep.
Of course.
I mean, it is cringy, yes, but
You know, thank you for bringing that up because I also think I haven't yet downloaded TikTok and I don't plan to. And I know I sound like one of those people who are all high and mighty and like, oh, I haven't downloaded TikTok because I'm great. But I think I am turning into a boomer. I am pretty sure because I catch myself non-ironically consistently talking about like the kids these days and how everybody's spending too much time on TikTok. So those are my
I think that's a true thing though. My goodness, like my cousins at Christmas, nonstop TikTok. And everybody knows the dances. Like you ask a kid, like, oh, do you know this? Yeah, they do it. They break into it right then and there. It's like, what? Like I've never seen something so popular like this. It's bizarre.
see, I'm not like that where I know all the dances, but I just like it's the comedy videos that I like.
Yeah.
There's classic comedy on there, like Vine quality comedy.
I do have to agree with that. I have a friend, her name is Amanda, and she has on multiple occasions sent me 20 plus TikToks at a time over text because she really wants to get me to laugh. And some of them are very high quality. So I do agree with that there's some quality comedy. Is that the merit of TikTok in your opinion, Laura? Is that what keeps you going?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
It's all the comedy. Are you a TikToks yourself?
I've done a few TikToks. Actually, the last two I've done have actually gotten kind of big. They've gotten over 1,000 views, which is crazy.
That's pretty hype. Okay.
So during quarantine, everyone is going to become famous on TikTok because
pretty much
no one can stop watching. Like I've heard you just fall into this hole where you keep watching. I have TikTok downloaded, never gone on it. I downloaded it because everyone was like, oh my gosh, download it. Like when it was first, like
everybody talked like that. Actually,
download it.
Every single person had that voice.
Yes. And I've never gone on it, but I've heard great things. Seems amazing.
It looks like something. Laura, life is cringe today. So do you have a cringe moment locked and loaded to tell us?
Yeah, I have a few actually.
All right.
I mean,
hit us with your favorite one.
Yeah, because basically my whole life middle school on has been full on cringe.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I've had that whole yeah.
Can I ask a question? You said middle school on. So what was like the cringe catalyst? Like what started your cringe journey in middle school?
I don't even know. It's just like that awkward phase where you dress really weird and you don't know how to interact with people.
Of course, yeah.
That was kind of it. I don't think there was any like defining cringe moment that I can remember. Maybe it's because I've blocked it all out of my memory.
Yeah.
Like my whole middle school, like 3 years, I don't remember anything from them.
Your whole middle school, you don't. Maybe you got your memory wiped, like Men in Black.
Probably
Men in Black, but for cringy middle schoolers. So do you remember?
Conspiracy.
Tell us about any cringe moment that you remember.
So then in 9th grade, the cringe was still going. And this is probably, I was thinking about this is probably like the cringiest moment. We had a Sadie Hawkins dance, which is the guys or the girls ask the guys.
Yeah, which never happened. At least for me. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't popular. Sadie Hawkins dances are a joke, especially at Baldwin Woodville High School, because none of the girls asked. It was always the guys, or it was me being weird and not asking anyone, and then being sad because nobody asked me. But that's my life. Laura, continue.
So I was like, this is my chance to ask out the guy I like, right?
Of course, yeah.
So I do. My friends basically just push me in the lunchroom. They push me over to his table and they're like, go ask him. So it's like,
oh my gosh, I love this. I can see it.
So ninth grade me just goes up awkwardly and is like, hey, do you want to go to Sadie's with me? And he says yes. And so I was like, cool. Then I go home, tell my parents. We have a whole discussion about this. I don't even remember.
Wait, discussion topics. Like,
it was
it's like your first date.
Yep. Just like holding hands. You guys are gonna be dancing.
Oh, were they
ready for that?
Are you sure you're ready? That's what the kids that's called the talk. Whenever you hear like your parents are going to give you the talk, it's talking about holding hands and dancing, and if you're ready for that kind of commitment. Were your parents the type who were like very like worried, like, oh, maybe you shouldn't hold hands, or like really excited for you?
They were definitely worried.
Okay, they were worried.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then that made me like second guess everything and if I actually really wanted to go. So then the next day I like at the lunch tables again, I went up to him and I was like, hey, so actually my dad won't let me go.
Oh no, you pegged it on your dad?
Yep.
Oh, shoot.
And he's like, okay, that's fine. And so then, like a couple days later, my closest friend, she asked him, and he said yes. And so she went together with him. And then, like the next year, like there were rumors going around that he was actually waiting for her to ask him.
Was your friendship ruined with this girl?
I was really bitter about it for like a couple weeks and then I got over it and like
a couple weeks. This is like a couple years.
Abby's friendship is ruined with this girl.
Yeah, I'm mad.
Abby hates this girl so much more than you do, Laura.
Well, she's actually
a couple weeks.
She's actually like my closest friend
today
when we graduated high school.
Okay.
Oh,
I can't believe you made it 4 years. Was she dating him all 4 of those years?
No, he was like, he was so awkward. His hands were all clammy.
Oh my God. That's gotta stink for that boy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we just aren't gonna work. Your hands are clammy.
That is the reason. Abby, have you experienced something like this? Because I feel like your reaction is way too visceral for you to not have been rejected by a clam hands boy.
No, I've never been rejected by clam hands or anything like that. I wasn't into like school dances. I didn't want a boyfriend. Like I literally avoided boyfriends, like thought it was weird, like wanted to just hang out with all my friends, like not have relationships and drama because I had like watched those come and go and fall apart and ruin friend groups. So I've avoided a boyfriend my whole life, which has worked out great. Except I've had one for like 4 years now.
Oh, okay.
That was an accident.
That was almost really sad. What you said, I've avoided a boyfriend all my life and it's been great. And I thought you were like, you're single and you're sad about it, but you're trying to cover something up. But you have been dating someone and it was an accident?
Yeah, because senior year, I didn't want a boyfriend. Why would you want a boyfriend when you're going to go off to college? But then it just really worked out and now we've been dating forever, which is not cringy and kind of boring. So Laura, say more funny stories.
Yeah.
We're getting too lovey-dovey.
Exactly. Yeah, this is Life is Cringe, not Life is Let's Talk About Abby's wonderful boyfriend. Laura, that was a great story.
Yes.
And I think we'll cap it with that. Laura, do you have any Clarion things to plug? Anything you want our thousands of listeners to go read?
I do. So hopefully in the coming weeks, I will have an interview with future President Ross Allen.
Were you about to say Boss Ross? Of course. Of course, because that's his name.
Yep.
That's
the only name I know him from.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And so it's just kind of a get to know you. What is his interests? What movies does he like? All that fun stuff. So yeah, that should be out soon.
Cool. Awesome, all right. Thanks for coming on, Laura. It was a blast.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, since Life is Cringe today, here's a new cringe title. This needs to. That's it. Needs to.
We changed it because we were having to say this needs to start or this needs to stop, and that's way too long and clunky of a title. So we changed it per request of friend of the podcast, Joe Heedy. And Joe is now jumping up and down hearing that his name was mentioned. He loves us and we love him. So this needs to, Abby, you have the floor.
So I wanted to do a This Needs to Start because I think we are a little negative, but I just can't think of something that needs to start. So I was gonna say like start hobbies during quarantine, like positive hobbies for you, but like that's just not for us. Lame. Yeah. So this needs to stop. The topic is participation awards. So I'm talking about like 5th grade sports teams, and they're handing out like printed off pieces of paper to kids, like most improved, like best shower upper at practice, like those kinds of awards where it literally makes you feel worse than better.
I never felt worse for my participation award. Yeah.
Oh, so you receive them?
I mean, I received a couple. I never got like you're making a face at me.
Yeah,
I never got like most improved or best shower upper. We always had like, I mean, there were a couple of times where you just got like a ribbon for like doing something.
Yeah.
But I have thoughts on this, but I'm gonna let you continue before I wreck your world.
No, don't. So this is, I'm sure, like when we were kids, it like wasn't even like that much of a sensitive world. I feel like we've really gone to a place where everybody's like a little more sensitive with certain things. And so I'm sure like at third grade girls basketball practices, they're handing out ribbons left and right. Like, oh my gosh, you said hi. Perfect. Like, thank you so much. Here's a gold star. We love you so much. But like when I was growing up, it was some hardcore stuff for sure. Just kidding.
It was hardcore stuff?
No. We had like parent coaches, so it was fine. But then it's like, it was just weird. That's your coach, and then you go out for like a barbecue after, like you go to somebody's house, have a barbecue, and you're like, well, you just yelled at me for having like a really sucky game, and now I'm gonna eat a pickle like and french fries with you. Like, are you kidding me? No, I don't want to do that.
Is that all you had at barbecues? Because were you a vegetarian at that point?
No,
so you could only eat fries and pickles.
I didn't want to say that eat a burger together because that just makes me sad that I did that at one time. That's how crazy of a vegetarian I am. So why
don't you want participation awards?
I feel like it's silly. I feel like we don't need them. I think it's like great you signed up, like great your parents spent money for you to be on this team. Thank you for participating. I don't know. I don't see it as being like an encouraging thing for kids. Like, oh great, like you showed up. You know? Yeah. What do you think?
So are you very competitive?
Yes.
As a person? Okay.
Oh yeah.
I kind of gathered that. So I
like quit card games if I'm losing.
Bad thing to do, right? So are you of the opinion of like I've had some friends growing up and like some friends' parents who think that like in middle school people should be cut from teams because they're like not good. Like are you of that view? And you can be.
No, I don't think I am. I definitely don't think people should make teams just because they showed up. But like, you don't need to be so aggressive with kids. Like, have multiple teams, but have a top team and have a low team. You know what I mean? And that's like it gives kids something to drive towards. Why wouldn't you have that? If you're all on the same playing field, but you're all different talents, it doesn't make sense, and people just get frustrated and mad at other people.
Yeah, I think I am not very competitive. And nice. The thing, like I was never super great at sports growing up until I started playing tennis in high school, and then I finally found something that I was pretty good at. And then that was fun. And then
after years of trial and error.
After exactly years. And then I found tennis, ping pong, and board games. And then I was in.
So tennis and ping pong.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I just played ping pong like in my basement, but I pride myself on my paddling ability. But I was never that good. I was like on the B team in middle school and all of that.
Yep.
But I'm not competitive, and I am pro the essence of participation awards. Okay. I think if you like keep just giving out if you give out like 1,000 participation awards, like one for every game, like whatever. But if it's like super young kids, like go ahead, because the kids are like just running around and they're just like having a good time, and there's no reason to like have this construct in your head of like, we got to show these 4-year-olds tough love and cut them from the team if they're not making threes. Like, I don't think that is okay. But I also, the reason that I am pro participation awards is because I think that in America, we are we take like middle school sports, and we take sports in general way too seriously at way too early of an age. And it's like, these kids do not need this. like you look at middle school basketball games and those parents that are like screaming at the refs and they're like
insane.
And they're like coaching their kids after the game and saying like, oh, you could have done this better and this better and this better. And all of those parents are those who are going to say participation awards are horrible because they make our kids weaker and we need to show our kids tough love and that, you know, the world is competitive. And if you're bad, you should get cut from the team. And it's like, you know, when kids are going to learn that in life, we don't need to like push that on them and cut the kid that's not that good at basketball just because he wants to come out and try something new. Like, what are we going to? We're going to punish people trying something new because they're not naturally good at it? Like, what do you mean? What world are these people wanting? That the only people that can like do these fun activities are people who are like naturally gifted and who want to put in like so much work to get this? I think it should be a little lighter and a little more focused on having a good time. When we get, I'll say this, when you get to like high school and college, I understand a little more competition because I think communities understand that like these are the high school kids, they maybe want to play in college and college people maybe want to play professionally. And sports get more fun when it's competitive. I totally agree with that. But like, because participation awards don't exist when you get to high school. It's only like elementary and middle school.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're doing any harm in elementary and middle school.
I think I'm just mad. Not mad. I shouldn't say mad. I'm not mad. I am confused why they should come up with like fun things that like the kids did, not just like, thanks for coming. Like, then I think it's silly. It's like, thanks for coming to my birthday party. Here's a gift bag with slime and a blue bouncy ball and some random candy. Like, it's just silly. Like, come up with something a little more creative so they feel special. Because when everyone's getting like the same thing, I feel like it's silly. And they probably don't know. So it's not hurting them. And they're all most likely having a good time. The parents that you're talking about on like the extreme end of like, you need to do this, this, and this. Like, if you're not running fast enough, I'm gonna like drive the car with you on your runs. Like, you need to be the same speed as the car or something like that. So I don't think those awards exist in like, I don't know, maybe past like middle school they don't.
Yeah.
But like 7th, 8th grade, I'm sure maybe they do a little bit. But after that, I think everyone needs to have fun because passions should be fun. And I think people don't understand that with sports is like, you need to be good. This needs to be a serious thing. Like 7th grade girls basketball, they're treating it like it's the NBA.
I know.
Why are we doing that? Like, my boyfriend's sister is 13 and going to those games with those parents. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to make all of them cry. Great.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have a bad day because 13-year-old girls are crying. Thank you so much. Like, those parents need to, I don't know, maybe they should not get any participation awards since they aren't doing their job.
I think the parents should get an award that says you are bad and you need to change. But let me say before we head out, that is the best argument against participation awards that I have ever heard. So kudos to you, saying that like it would be better if they got like individualized awards like for actual things that they did. Because I agree with that. I think too, like kids are smart enough to say like if they get a bunch of participation awards, it's just like, oh, they're just like wanting to give me something.
Yes, exactly.
And like they probably didn't really do anything. But if they get an award that's like personalized and fun, like they could
that would
have
be a huge deal. Which would be so cool. Like if it's something that they're gonna hang up in their room, that is so exciting.
Yeah. The middle school coaches, listen up. Listen to Life Is. Alrighty. Next up, and we're hoping to do this in the most cringeworthy way possible. Sam, turn on your mic and your camera because you are our guest for this segment. And we didn't want to tell you because we wanted it to be this episode. There he is. That was quick.
Wow.
I was excited.
This is pretty cringeworthy for me.
Exactly. That's what we wanted it to be. So Sam, thank you for joining us on this very planned segment of Life Is. We have a couple questions for you. First, tell us about your most cringeworthy phase growing up.
Wow. Probably. Well, I mean, I think we all kind of have that awkward, like from 7th grade through 30. Just so you know, it doesn't necessarily get better for a while. Yeah, I think actually I have a lot of cringeworthy things that came while I was teaching at Bethel because you as you age, you think, well, now I'm starting to figure things out, but you keep going to new places and realizing how much you don't know.
Yeah.
So like when I started teaching at Bethel, I was 24 when I started teaching at Bethel. So I had students who were, I mean, within a couple of years of my age. I think I had one student who was older than me. He was 26 and I was 24 teaching CWC. So that opens the door up for a lot of cringeworthy moments. And you don't feel secure. I didn't feel secure about anything that I was doing. So yeah. So for example, the first time I gave a lecture in CWC, I was filling in for someone because I wasn't on the lecture team. I just did small groups, but somebody couldn't make it. So I had to give the lecture, and it was one that I knew. And I was always in the 9 o'clock class. That was the lecture I was always in, which goes from 9 until 10:10. You're familiar with BMOD, right?
I am, and okay. Every student in that class is sleeping and not excited.
Yeah. So I was teaching though in the at the lecture I gave was at 2:50 p.m. So it was in the afternoon.
Okay.
But in my head, class ends at 10 after the hour. So I had told the students this is the first time I've ever lectured. So it's awful to start a lecture by apologizing, but that's what I did. But then I started teaching and I saw the clock and I thought, okay, the one thing I'm not going to do is end early because like that would reflect poorly on me for my first lecture. But I forgot what time it was. So I was thinking I needed to teach until 10 after. So like 4 o'clock came around and I was like, I was basically done with whatever I needed to say, but I'm like, I'm not ending 10 minutes early because there's other profs here. So I started vamping and like was trying to burn 10 minutes. And at about 4:08, I looked at the clock and realized it said 4:08 and not 10:08. And I stopped mid-sentence and I turned to the students and I said, I am so sorry. You can go. Because I was just wasting their time.
So they were only supposed to be there for like
till
an hour and 10 minutes till 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wasted 8 minutes and I didn't have stuff to say. I was like kind of repeating myself, trying to be like, I am going to hit that 10 after mark. I had no idea.
Wait, were you like being like monitored by one of the older professors or you just wanted to like show the students that you could do it?
No. I thought class went until 10 after. I wasn't.
Yeah. But you were done at 4. But
I had covered what I needed to cover. I could have ended there, but I just wasn't gonna end early because it's like a sign of weakness. Like what, you can't even fill the 70 minutes.
It was like a pride thing for you.
Absolutely. And it's pride mixed with insecurity is what it was.
Of course. The evil mixture of pride and insecurity. Oh man. That's exciting. Do you remember any cringe moments of like any like student interactions or like a cringy thing that a student has ever done in your class?
Let me think about this. I can think of, well, there's things that I deeply regret that I said. Again, all these go back to like the very beginning of teaching. But I remember I had a student who, and again, I need to preface this by saying when you're first starting to teach, at least me, I'll use I statements. I was so insecure about everything I was doing. And I was leading a small group when we were talking about John Calvin. And I don't even remember the question the student asked, but it was like he was trying to like prove me wrong about something. And I just said to him without thinking, I said, well, that's kind of a stupid question. The question that he was asking. And he I could see him shrink at that moment. And I was just like, oh, I'm not supposed to say that to a student. I'm not supposed to say that your question is a stupid question. So then like everybody just kind of froze and we sort of moved on. And then afterwards, I like wrote him this long email explaining like, I should never say that. Here's why your question was a good question. I wrote this like way too long explanation, which he probably didn't read because he probably didn't care ultimately. But it was just like this moment of like where I was so frustrated with him that I said that. And then I thought, that's about the worst thing that I think I could say to a student.
Your question is stupid.
Because all professors and teachers out there are like, no questions are stupid. Ask all the questions.
Exactly. So I've done that. Yeah.
Did he ask any more questions ever?
I don't think he ever talked again. No.
Oh, you ruined it. He was so excited to like be the guy that talked in class. And
I don't even know if that kid graduated from Bethel. I'm not 100% sure that he did.
Oh man.
So
you ruined his day and his future.
Wait, is there a statute of limitations on this? Can I get in trouble for this? This was like probably 2002. So am I okay?
I'm pretty sure as long as you're not like naming names and stuff.
Yeah.
I will stop at that point.
So if you go ahead.
No, you
Zach.
go ahead. You go.
So mine's kind of silly. So but don't tell me it's stupid, okay, Sam?
All right.
So if you ran into him somewhere, would you talk to him? Like would you say hey?
Man, if we recognized I don't know. Like I don't know that I would like I know the student's name.
Yes.
And I just don't know that we would recognize each other, or I'm sure there's so much water under the bridge. I don't actually think that I like pushed him out of academia. Like I don't think that. But yeah.
I bet he recognizes you. I bet he has like a dartboard with your face on it and stuff.
That's probably the case.
Past you and say like, my questions aren't stupid anymore. Like just randomly.
He's been plotting his return.
I want to tell you that it's somebody who teaches here, because wouldn't that be even better? But it's not. It's totally not.
I got so excited.
How great would it be if I was like, and that person was Eric Leafblad?
That would be
not true. Wasn't him.
A final question before we wrap up. You brought up something interesting. You brought up your experience of being a professor and being super insecure and having these cringe moments. Would you say that that's the reality for a lot of professors? Because I think Abby and I probably agree, like professors put off a pretty confident vibe and like they're subject matter experts and we have to listen to them and they grade us and they control our futures. And they're like kind of these icons, but you're bringing up this point that they are like, obviously they're real humans, and are professors cringing and like insecure all the time?
Well, I want to start by saying that that's a really stupid question, but then I'll answer it. So I would say, especially when you're first starting out, it's kind of a personality thing too, though. Like I think there are people who are just confident people and move through the world with a kind of confidence. Plus, there are also just some super brilliant people, but some of those folks still have this. Like I still have the insecurity. I still feel like I'm 13 years old. Like in my head, that's who I imagine. I'm looking at my screen right now. I can see myself, and it's like, that's not. I'm not 13. I have a picture of myself right here where I'm 13. If you want me to grab it to sort of compare, but
please do that.
Okay, just give me a second. You guys vamp while I grab this.
Okay.
Do you feel that way, Zach? Like I know there's certain situations where I'm out and about and I do something and I'm like, oh my gosh,
right,
like
so I don't know 21. How well this is going to work, but this is a picture of my 9th grade basketball team. Can you see me right
you're
there?
A baller. Oh, you're really tall. Were you the tallest man?
Geez.
I was, yeah.
That was 9th?
I was really bad. I'm bad at basketball, but yeah.
Are all of those young men 9th graders?
Yeah, this is a 9th grade basketball team. So you can see like various degrees of maturity.
Yep.
But that's
they all look giant.
Yeah.
And like really old. Here's something that I think is true, and I think it is some magic thing that's happening. Every single person that is like over 30 or 40. How old are you, Sam?
I'm 42.
Okay. Every single person that is over 40, I'll go with that, looked so old in high school. If you look at if like your parents' yearbooks, everybody looks so much older than we do. What is going on?
I don't. We look like babies.
I know why.
Do you really want your mind blown? Go and look at somebody who. Okay, let's think about this. Somebody who's 55 years old. You guys ever watch Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Okay, so Chris Traeger, the guy who plays as Rob Lowe, he's in his mid 50s. I think Tom Cruise is maybe 60 now. Go look at through like somebody's photo album at what a 55-year-old person looked like in the 1980s. They look like they're 75. Something happened. I just think maybe it's because, to Abby's earlier point, we didn't get any trophies growing up. Like, I think life was just harder. I don't know, but everybody looks older. In the 80s, when you turned 40, like you looked like you had lived like a super hard life at that point.
I think it's because they were workers. Like, my mom grew up on a farm. My parents are both 55, and seeing my mom's pictures, she looks the exact same. She literally looks like she's 55 when she's graduating high school. She just looks older and much more mature than me.
Have you told her that?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Well, she just did.
Yeah, all the time. She understands. And she's like, that's because I was working outside in the sun. Like, my skin just became leather and wrinkly from 18 on. Like, I was just working hard. You sit and be a receptionist, like, inside. Like, it's just a different situation.
That just seems like another boomer thing to say. All of them, like, I'm working hard. My skin is leather. I walked uphill both ways to school. Like, all you kids look like you're 5 because you're just playing Fortnite inside. But dude, it's true. Maybe there was a different mindset. I don't know, Sam.
I think so. I think that I don't know how to talk about it, but like, I think there is just this sense, like it's a cliche to say things like 60 is the new 40 and things like that, but it really kind of is. Like, I look at my parents and my in-laws, and they're all either 70 or about to turn 70 or older, and it's like, man, they don't look that old to me. Like, they don't look as old as people in their 50s looked in the 80s. I think we actually like do take better care of ourselves than people did. I think life was, plus there's way fewer people that smoke now. There's just a lot of health things that we do better. I think that's a big piece of it.
That's for sure, with technology and like anti-aging stuff and all the products out there you can do now.
I think part of it's our vanity too. Like, that's a human thing, but yeah.
One last question. Do you think in your generation, like when you were our age, were people as like obsessed with their image and looking young as we are? As like our generation is?
The thing you have to realize, and I think it's hard to imagine because you grew up with it, is like, we actually lived we grew up in high school in a world pre-internet. We went to college in a world pre-social media. So there wasn't, there was less of a sense of like how you had an image maybe among your friends or at your school, but you guys live in a world where you project your image globally. Now, you maybe don't have a big global reach like that, but you're putting it out there to the world. So I think you think about it differently. You guys were born into a world where you were managing your personal brand, whether you liked it or not. And I honestly, I feel bad. Like, that doesn't feel like a way to live your life. And it's not something you chose, but I think that's very true.
Yeah. And this is my boomer speaking again, but social media is super destructive. And I think that's probably a big part of maybe why we look like we're 5 and my parents looked like they were 30 at 18.
Well, I'll give you a quick example. Like, I have a few photographs from my childhood. I have some. Like, I have some I bet you guys have. I bet there are lots of pictures of you.
Oh, my dad has a full drawer upstairs with hundreds and hundreds of photos of me.
Right, and I have a handful of pictures from college. I bet you guys digitally have
thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like your
many.
image is being captured so much more. So you have to be more conscious of that. I have to remember to smile when someone takes my picture because it's not like I don't think about the fact that pictures get taken, you know, until I occasionally see myself. Yeah.
Wow.
That's so
super interesting.
Yes.
Wow. Well, this took a turn and it was great. It wasn't cringe. We talked about some big stuff.
That's right.
Interesting.
So Sam, thanks for coming on. This was great. Pleasure as always. Alrighty, next up for our final segment, we've got some deep questions for you, of course. You want them. But I have not shown my cringe picture yet. So we're going to spend the first few minutes looking at this. Let me know when you see it.
Okay.
Is it there?
Yep.
All right. So this is my cringiest photo that I have. For the people who can't see this, the people who are listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, go subscribe. This is me in, I think, 7th or 8th grade. I look like I weigh 35 pounds soaking wet. I'm wearing a blue and yellow striped Aeropostale shirt with the word Aeropostale printed vertically on the left side. I'm wearing beige cargo shorts, long white tube socks, black and green Reebok Zig-Tex, and I am sitting in a deer stand in a tree flexing. And my hair looks like a bowl cut. It's really long bangs, like to my eyebrows, and just straight across. I am flexing, and it is posted by a girl named Eva Dornick. I doubt she listens to the podcast. If she does, good for you. Eva was the first girl that I ever danced with. She posts this photo on Facebook with the caption "Beast." So
when
this right here, this year. No, she posted it in 2012, like after this happened. This was at our absolute rager of a party at my friend Matsu's house, and we were. It's also from, if you see here, it's from Eva's 2012 Facebook album, Young and Wild. And if you ask anybody to describe Zach Walker circa 2012 in 2 words, it's going to be young and wild. So this is me. This is me at my best. I'm also like way too serious in this photo. Yeah. And I remember that after this, I got a bunch of sap on my shorts and shirt because of the tree.
You had to get rid of those. That's probably like the best outfit you had at that time, right?
Oh yeah,
if you were going to a party, like you were dressing up.
Oh yeah, this was like a planned outfit. Like I thought I looked hot in this with the tall white tube socks with the bright green Zig-Tex.
So I love that your picture is from 2012 and so is mine.
Oh, 2012 was the year.
Yes, it must have been something in the water with
that made us look so unbelievably attractive, do you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, we were just talking about how kids in the 80s looked really old, like really right here. I probably look 28, 5. Right? I look ready for marriage.
So is Eva, like, was that your friend and she had Facebook in 2012? Or was it a mom of the party?
Oh, no, we all had Facebook in 2012.
I didn't get Facebook until like my senior year of high school. So I didn't know. So she would post stuff from the parties and caption. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, she posted that in Young and Wild. There's a lot more photos I have here. Here's me playing Sebastian the Crab in 8th grade in Under the Sea, and there's a lot of stuff like that.
8th grade.
8th grade, man. Theater star,
That's awesome.
classically trained.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's my cringe. But let's quick go over. Let's talk about one deep question. Abby, you got one for me or for us?
Yes. So personally, I think cringe, like the word cringe, is or like has formed into this negative word that people like use to describe something negative and can take it out on themselves too. Like, oh, that was such a cringy time of my life, which sounds so silly to say. I think like everything, all those pictures, like they're hilarious to me. Like, why wouldn't you just laugh at them and say, who cares? But that's just my personality. Why do you think our culture has made cringe into this negative word that makes people feel bad?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think society has definitely, it's almost popularized cringe.
Yes.
I think it's almost trendy to say that something is cringe. Like if you are uncomfortable with something and you don't want to deal with it, you'll just say, "Oh, that's so cringy." Like I think a lot of people in like conflict management will resort to saying something is cringeworthy if like somebody's being weird in a conflict instead of like trying to directly address that conflict. They'll just say, "Oh, so cringe," and like it'll just be weird for everybody. But I think it comes down to the fact that society, like American society especially, really fears embarrassment. And that's why, I mean, I think personally, it's hard for me to think of embarrassing moments because I think we're wired to suppress them. Because, and it's weird because if you think of the nature of embarrassment, usually it's not somebody like getting hurt or doing something that has a big impact on them. Like if I freaking tripped in the lunchroom and flew, like my tray went everywhere and people laughed at me, like, yeah, that's going to be embarrassing right at the beginning, but that's not going to impact my future. That's not going to affect my health. People aren't going to really probably talk about that for the next couple of weeks or something. But we're so scared of, I think, our image being tarnished by something that is not so calculated and attractive and cool like we all think we are.
Yeah, I think even with like your picture, how you planned that outfit, like I'll save a new shirt or something like for a specific event because I'm like, I need to wear it. Like people will compliment me, blah, blah, blah. That's so embarrassing for me to say, wow. But like, I like crave that and want that.
Yeah.
So like those, I think we don't want to be embarrassed of ourselves, but like really nobody would notice. And it goes like embarrassment might not even be the word. Like embarrassing for me is funny, like little things that I do where I'm like, oh my gosh, in the moment, but then later I just die laughing about it because everybody makes mistakes. I called one kid at Bethel who was my sign language partner the wrong name, and we were walking the opposite ways on the little egg staircase up to he was going up and I was going down, and I said like, oh hey, I think I called him Chad and his name is Zach. And I literally took one more step.
And it was me.
Yeah, I took one more step and I said to my friend, I go, that is not his name. And I felt so bad. I was like, oh my gosh, he's gonna think I never listened to him. Like that was the worst. So like in the moment I'm like, oh my goodness, but then later on it's funny. And I think that looking at cringe-worthy pictures, like they're funny now. I just wish everyone could see him that way.
I know it's weird. I think when we look at like our cringe moments from when we were younger, we didn't even think that was embarrassing.
Or we thought we were hot stuff.
Exactly. But then I think when we look at something that embarrasses us now, like if I were to do a really embarrassing thing like yesterday or something, and then think of it today, like I would think, oh yeah, that was really cringy. But like at the time, I would have also thought that. I would have also thought like, oh, that was super uncomfortable. And that's what cringe is it's just discomfort. And we hate discomfort so much because I think we live in a society that idolizes comfort and vanity and always doing things that make you feel good. And even when something is, I think there are a lot of cringe things that people point out as being cringe that are just like people being themselves.
Yeah.
And people like being the awkward human beings that they are.
And I think you need to do that. Like, you need to have uncomfortable situations to later on know that a situation isn't uncomfortable. Like, no matter in middle school, asking boys to dances or boys asking girls to dances, that is like the most uncomfortable thing in that moment. But now it's like, who cares? Like, whatever, I'll do it. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But you need to learn from those awkward, like, hi, Jeremy, can I go to the dance with you? Like, those little things, I think, just help you grow.
Yeah. And I think a lot of cringe and a lot of awkward feelings are completely in your head.
Oh, yeah.
I think embarrassment is a mental construct that I don't think really shows up in reality that much. Because I think a lot of times if we're like uncomfortable in a situation or really worried or nervous to like go and talk to somebody, and then we just do it, like it's not that bad. Or even if we're thinking like a situation is cringy, if we look at that situation and just like approach it as humans that are that are equipped with forgiveness and the ability to see people as unique, it doesn't really become uncomfortable. So I think it's this weird construct of like, we're so afraid of anything being not streamlined.
Yes.
And not just like perfectly normal. So yeah, I think that's what cringe is.
You've been listening to Life Is, a podcast from the Clarion, Bethel University's national award-winning student publication. We'd like to thank our producer, Sam Mulberry, and the year of 2012 for highlighting both of us at our absolute peaks.
The Clarion still publishes stories every day online at bethelclarion.com, so go check it out. Also, check out Textura India, an international storytelling project put together by 20 journalism and graphic design students, including me and many Life Is guests last J-term. This project means so much to all of us, and we would love for you to hear the stories we told of some pretty incredible people in rural India. So check out seektextura.com. Textura is spelled Textura. Thank you for checking that out.
Please tell the people in your life about Life Is, which drops Monday and Friday until we run out of things to say.
Because ultimately, life is people. So tell Abby's laser dentist.
And tell the kid with the stupid question.
And tell Laura's TikTok followers.
And tell Eva Dornick.